All right, welcome to episode 28 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today on the table, the Houston Texans, a team with seemingly a lot of talent with one win. What are they doing this season?
You know, the Texans, I would have to say, probably have a top 5 hardest schedule this year. They opened up against the reigning Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. Next game, reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And then next game, Big Ben's back. Not many guys are going to win 3 of those games. And unfortunately, they lost all 3. I was hoping they could at least pull off one, maybe against the Steelers. But no, they went 0-3 and then also lost to the Minnesota Vikings, who aren't a stellar team, but the Vikings are just similar to Texans. Terrible defense. They can both put up numbers, though. Starting off 0-4, you're like, are the Texans tanking? Short answer is no, they can't. They don't have a first-round pick this year. They got rid of it, traded it to Miami to upgrade that O-line, and they got Laremy Tunsil to protect Deshaun Watson. But I don't know if they're going to just start winning. They still got harder opponents. They got to play Green Bay this week. They just lost to the Titans, pushed them to 1-5. They got to play Green Bay, like I said. They got to play the Pats. That's a possible playoff team. They got to play the Browns. That's a possible playoff team. They got to play the Colts twice. They'll likely be a playoff team. And the Bears. There's obviously a couple cupcake games. They get to play the Jags. They get to play the Bengals. They get to play the Lions. But they're in no position to make a playoff run. But they're also in no position to just cut the season and benefit from the draft because they can't.
Yeah, that's all true. They're in a real tough spot. I think at no point in this season was there any intentional or thought of intentionally tanking because there's no point.
Yeah.
Plus, going into this season, there was expectations for a much better team than there is evident right now. So there was certainly no thought at the beginning of the year that this is a rebuild season, whatever. They got the second highest paid quarterback in the league in Deshaun Watson. Plenty of offensive weapons. Their defense is struggling. That's their weak point, obviously. But I think even worse than that is in that whole franchise is the management issue has ruined that team up to this point in the season with Bill OBrien. So I think that's I would if I had to blame one thing, it would be the management issue with Bill OBrien as to why they're 1-5 right now. Nothing to do with them tanking because simply that makes no sense for this franchise.
And outside of Deshaun Watson, they need help. I mean, all their money is in Deshaun, which is, in my opinion, not worth it. Second highest paid is a little much, but eventually, in a year or two, he's not going to be paid that much. The salary cap's going to change, and he's going to fall down to 10 most paid. They have a good wide receiver depth chart with Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, who has great hands. Kind of lost his speed, but he's still a great receiver. And David Johnson's a good pickup, but to say he's worth DeAndre Hopkins is insane. I mean, the Bills gave up a first-round pick this year for Stephon Diggs, who was a great receiver, arguably top 10. But DeAndre Hopkins is a top 3, and they didn't get a first round for him. So it's just kind of ridiculous. Again, not Deshaun's fault, not the team's fault, the manager's fault.
Who's now gone, so he ruined the franchise and left.
Yeah. It's a little interesting to see who they will sign as a coach. I heard rumors of the Chiefs offensive coordinator, which is a solid idea. They got things working for them. They won a Super Bowl. They're 4-1.
Anybody from that Chiefs franchise would be great here in Houston.
Do the Texans have high hopes for 2021 season? Yeah, but this year it's just ugly. There's no high road for them.
Yeah, they got to figure out. Hopefully, I mean, realistically for that team, the hope is to find somebody to hire a head coach and maybe win a few games with them and get that offense kind of playing together with the new coach. I think playoffs aren't impossible at this point for this team, but very unlikely and shouldn't be the main goal. I think the main goal should be finding someone that fits the program and getting to work with them at the head coach position.
Main goal is basically change out anyone you want this offseason except Deshaun, get a new coach, get a new management, get some new defensive players, keep JJ. Even David Johnson at wide receiver core is great, but there's no number one target Deshaun has, and every team that's successful needs that. Mahomes his is kind of split between Tyreek and Travis Kelce. That's rare. You just need your number one guy, and the Texans don't have that.
It's all true.
And that's what we got.
Yep, 2-minute warning.
2 minutes.